Let's check out my deck tech on Mishra. Not this guy, the good one. There we go, Mishra the Eminent One. This legendary human artificer is going to be the Grixis Commander of the future. This guy is going to give you copies of any of your non-creature artifacts, but they're going to be 4/4 constructs with haste. You're going to be able to do some powerful things with this guy, and I can't wait to see how he's going to be built around once he's released, and even how the pre-constructed commander deck looks. I'm really excited, but here's a few ideas to make this deck work for you. Let's dive in. Since our boy Mishra is going to be giving us token copies of our non-creature artifacts, I think mana rocks will be a great start to this deck. Ones that tap for multiple mana, even better. Especially the broken ones, like Basalt Monolith. This is going to give you 3 colorless mana, but the downside, it doesn't untap during your untap step. However, that really doesn't matter, because these tokens are going to go away at the end of the turn anyway. Some other favorites of mine are going to be Thran Dynamo and Soul Ring. He's going to allow us to have some very explosive turns with these mana rocks, get a bunch of mana very quickly, and surprise our opponents with advantage and value. The other thing we can really focus on are artifacts with great ETBs. Ichor Wellspring comes to mind, because when it enters the battlefield, you draw a card. When it's put into the graveyard, you draw a card. Tokens technically do hit the graveyard when they die or are sacrificed. Some other great examples are Prize Statue, does what Ichor Wellspring does, but you're going to get treasure tokens, give you some more artifacts and some additional ramp. But I really like Spine of Ish-Sah. This one here, when it enters the battlefield, you can destroy any permanent, and you can keep blowing up a different permanent each of your combats. So this is going to be a lot of fun and a ton of value with Mishra. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Panharmonicon. This 4-mana artifact is going to double up your ETBs on your artifacts. So, Ichor Wellspring, the token enters the battlefield, you'll draw 2 when it dies. Basically get an Ancestral Recall for free every combat. Can't beat that with that kind of value. All the other cards have some great values too, even if they're not being copied by Mishra. Your Spine of Ish-Sah is going to blow up 2 permanents when you just play it. When you copy it, 2 permanents. It's going to be a very powerful build throwing this card in. I wouldn't recommend it for lower powered settings. If you thought the value train was over, you're heavily mistaken. We need to get some value from these artifacts leaving the battlefield and entering the battlefield. That's where cards like Marionette Master come into play. Marionette Master has, whenever an artifact you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, target opponent loses life equal to Marionette Master's power. As further support for Marionette Master, we have Disciple of the Vault. It's 1 black mana for a human cleric, and whenever an artifact is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, you may have target opponent lose 1 life. So another nice drain effect. But we also have Reckless Fireweaver. Reckless Fireweaver is going to hit every opponent for 1 when we have an artifact enter the battlefield. Since we're going to have a ton of fun with tokens, we have our Secret Commander, Brutaclad, Telcor Engineer. He's going to give creature tokens haste, and at the beginning of combat on your turn, you make a mirror token. And then you can choose a token you control. If you do, each other token you control becomes a copy of that token. Now, that means our Basalt Monolith token will have an innumerable amount and a ton of mana accessible to us. We can turn all of our tokens to a Spine of Ish-Sah, so we can destroy a bunch of stuff. The possibilities are endless with Brutaclad in this deck. We might as well have more fun with Memnarch in this deck as well. We can turn our opponent's things into artifacts and then steal them, and then copy them with Mishra. If Memnarch's too expensive to turn things into artifact, we have Liquid Metal Torque and Liquid Metal Coating that are going to do the same thing. But Liquid Metal Torque is also a mana rock for us, so it's going to help with our ramp. As you can see, Mishra Eminent One is going to be a very exciting commander to play with from the upcoming Brothers War set. I'm excited for it, as well as the other new cards they've previewed so far, and I can't wait to see what else is in store for us as Magic players. If you all like this deck tech, please like and stay tuned for my latest deck techs and other Magic related content. In the meantime, everybody take care, and I'll see you on the next one.